Hey everyone, thank you all for joining us on this second milestone on decentralizing healthcare with IOTA and Scaly. I wanted to give a quick shout out to everyone who was there during our first release. There were a lot of questions and good and supportive comments, and some of you even built stuff around Freighter. It was a turnout I never expected to happen, so it was super interesting to see. I also wanted to thank the people within the IOTA Foundation for supporting this grant. Not only have I been grateful to do something that actually contributes to the IOTA community itself, but also something that makes change outside in the real world. For some of you that may know me a little bit better, you might know that I take these things quite seriously. I don't want to have our future generation grow up in a world where they have to exchange convenience for privacy. And on top of that, what's even worse is that they think it's normal and even end up paying for. Don't get me wrong though, I do want to see the future generation to see the convenience that data can bring. I just want the world to know that you don't have to share your life with companies in order to get that. And if you do, at least that you are in full control. And that brings me to the little culprit that is making this all possible, which is of course Freighter. We haven't been sitting still since our last video. Well, maybe for recording this video, but other than that we've been really busy. And I can't wait to show you all what's new. In our previous video we have shared what Freighter is and how it works. It's basically a protocol that allows you to send and receive messages very fast over the IOTA network. On top of that, it's also using only one key, which allows you to have less bugs and other peculiarities, since you don't have to keep a local state that has to be updated with every message you send or receive. If you want to know more about the basics of Freighter, I recommend you to see the first video first. It's not necessary, but I would recommend you if you want to gain a deeper understanding. The link to the first video will be in the description below. Previously, we have talked about how Freighter uses one channel key and how you can share this key with someone else in order to share data over a secured channel. One of the downsides of Freighter is that it only protects you from the outside world. If anyone knows the channel key, they are basically the owner just like you. If you share your key over the internet, anyone who can listen in can also read and even write to your channel. In Scaly, we solved this by adding IPFS's peer-to-peer library, which we use as a secure channel between one user and the other. The downside is that we have to include IPFS, which is a quite large library. On top of that, both users have to be online at the same time. It's quite ridiculous that we have to include a completely different ecosystem only to share our IOTA-based channels with others in private. Don't get me wrong though, IPFS is a great tool and it's been used with other IOTA projects quite often. But it simply doesn't really fit with our technology, and it will make more sense if we can use IOTA for both Freighter channels and setting them up securely. On top of that, since Freighter is used with healthcare data, we want the entire lifecycle of the channel to be fully resistant against quantum computers without sacrificing the convenience you have with classical cryptography. We just want the software to last. Some of you watching right now that have been familiar with IOTA for a while may know the whole thing about not reusing signatures. This is something we don't want with Freighter, since its design is all about having one key that never changes during the life cycle of your channel. This caused me to wander around in the local parks for hours having people look at me like I'm crazy. Fortunately, we came with a solution that works and even brought us more convenience than IPFS has brought us. Without further ado, let me show you our latest extension released today called Freighter Private Channels, or short FRPC. FRPC is very much like a decentralized email address working 100% within IOTA. In FRPC, you set up a public channel address and anyone can dial to this address, and when they do, they set up a private Freighter channel with the owner. This private Freighter channel key will never go over the Tangle or the internet, yet both the owner and the one who dials will get the same key, allowing them to talk to each other. Magical, isn't it? Well, if you think, then it's just science you don't know about yet. Not that it makes it any less special though. Let's dive down this rabbit hole. In FRPC, the channel owner makes a private key. From this private key, he makes a public key, which allows people to encrypt messages which can be decrypted only with the private key. The owner hashes this public key into an IOTA address and publishes the public key to this new address. This IOTA address now serves as the channel address. Note that this is not a regular IOTA wallet. This key pair is completely non-standard IOTA. If you want to know more about the quantum-proof cryptography behind FRPC, I kindly refer you to our FRPC README, which will be linked in the description below. The subscriber now can dial this public channel address. The channel address is safe to be known in the public. You can treat it like a very secure, decentralized email address. You can post it in magazines, articles, or even contact advertisements. When he dials, he downloads the public key from the channel address and repeats the hash function we did before. He then creates a regular Frader channel key and decrypts it using the quantum-proof crypto function and publishes it to the channel address. Note that the subscriber can already begin sending messages to the owner without the owner even being online yet. This is made possible by the clever way we use Frader in a two-step digital handshake. The owner simply reads over his channel and decrypts any handshake that has occurred. He will get the same channel key as the subscriber and can send messages back or download messages if any. And that's FRPC. The beauty of this? It's only part of the good stuff. There's tons of possibilities from here. Imagine setting up a private key per patient, which you can then delete when the patient wants to withdraw their consent to sharing their data. Since the private key is crucial to reading the data and is not shared at any moment, it will render the data unreadable and the patient has peace of mind that at no point in the future the data will ever be readable again. It's basically GDPR without extra steps. And that was it for this video. If you want to try Frader private channels out, there will be a demo link in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed watching these videos I did making it. I really love doing it, and I also love working on Frader technology. So yeah, I hope to see you guys next time, and let's freaking do this. See ya!